Hey, sorry about that. We had a little bit of technical difficulties there. Welcome back to the Social Mind Show. We're just going to go ahead and pick back off where we were at. We were talking about, we were back, right now we are in the sports category. Right now we've already covered a couple topics. We're going to jump back to the Ray Rice suspended from the team, Minnesota, not Minnesota, I'm sorry. Darn it, getting a little tongue-tied here because everything's kind of got a little blurry here because we're talking about Minnesota Vikings, Adrian Peterson being indicted for injury to a child, and we've already covered that. Now we're talking about Ray Rice and him being suspended from the team. And we're just going to go ahead and just jump to the video of him actually in the casino elevator with his Janae, with his at the time fiance. Now they are married, and show the actual incident itself. So here we go. Now here, I'm just going to do a little bit of commentary at the same time. This is actually, showing Ray Rice and Janae actually going into the elevator. Now, this is a little bit of slow motion here, a little backtrack, so you can actually see a little bit in detail actually what happened actually in the elevator itself. And here comes the controversy. Whoa. As you can see, she slapped him first. She walked to him, no fear, no doubt, and he slugged her with a left hook. And as you can see, she was knocked out and actually hit the railing on the side. And this thing cost this man damn near probably almost everything. And as you can see, his then fiance is just laying unconscious on the ground. And another disturbing part of this whole situation is what's about to happen now. As he callously picks her up with, really with no actual, regard, when the elevator door was about to open, and now they're going to actually get to the bottom, and once again, he's going to, attempt to pick her up, or actually pick her up, because he's a strong dude, and just kind of just slung her on the ground, just, drops her. She's exposed there, he's getting her shoe, actually kicking her, kind of get her up, walks across her with his foot, dragging across her, and, tries to wake her up or whatever. Of course, you have attendants there, coming to see what's going on. And he just, he's kind of doing everything callously with really no regard or emotion or affection, really. I know at the time things are heated and you're not really in your happy place, but tries to wake her up, just kind of, get yourself together. And she does actually, start to kind of revive there. And it's all a really ugly situation on either, no matter how you look at it, it's a really ugly situation. She's waking up, basically trying to get herself together there, trying to clear up the cobwebs after an actual knockout blow. When some of us have been knocked out, you're not really coherent. You're waking up like, what's going on? But he turned himself in. He not turned himself. He actually admitted to what he did. Roger Goodell said that, and this part was the second part of the video that was actually released there on TMZ. As you can see, TMZ Sports. The first part was just him bringing her out of the elevator. He was suspended for 2 games. There was a big controversy behind that. They should do more. Nothing happened. Second video came out. Actually, that was the showing them in the video, the knockout punch. And now we never had the video. We didn't have access to it. So what we did, now that we had the video and we see it, Roger Goodell went ahead and announces that based on the video evidence that it was not available till today, Ray Rice has been suspended indefinitely. And I mean, he's a star over there in Baltimore Ravens, and that's what team he's on, Baltimore Ravens, and he's a star. But they pretty sure they did not know anything like that would happen. And right now, everybody over there is stunned. They're trying to deal with the situation, but they feel that, you know, why did you guys only suspend him, you know, after you guys actually saw what happened? You know, I mean, that's the big debate now. He should have actually been suspended beforehand. Okay, he admitted he knocked her out. You see the tape of him dragging her out, her unconscious. But that's the big debate. And we're all wondering, is the NFL actually accommodating a culture of violence and abuse? We don't know if he's done this before. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. But the main thing is that a lot of people are saying, and even Janine came out and said, okay, the hurt that we've experienced, if you guys wanted to actually try to hurt us, try to and try to seclude us and make us feel alone, you've actually succeeded. She said, this is their situation. This is something that they deal with. You know what I mean? Let us deal with it. In all honesty, you know, there's a lot of situations of battered women. They say battered woman abuse or battered husband abuse for that matter. They kind of defend the abuser. You know, that's the culture, defend the abuser. But we don't know what the situation is. We don't know what goes on in their household. Obviously, we don't know if her motive for defending her husband is through love, greed, ulterior motive. We don't know. So my take on it is we just, you know, wait to see what happens, wait to see how the whole thing plays out, and then we all can make our final opinion. But at the same time, everybody has their opinion and they're entitled to it. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and move from sports to politics. Now, this part is going to be a little bit more grueling, so bear with us here. All right, what we're going to do, we're going to go to the next thing here, one is dealing with the ex-mayor of New Orleans, Mr. Ray Nagin. And this guy, you think you've got some serious stuff going on. This guy here, sweet Mary Mother. Shh, that's not cool at all. Anyway, Mr. Ray Nagin, New Orleans mayor, was found guilty of conspiracy, corruption, and money laundering. He turned himself in to a federal prison on the 8th of September to serve a 10-year term. Mr. Ray Nagin, he's going to be serving a 10-year sentence. In February, Nagin was convicted of 20 counts, including bribery, conspiracy, and money laundering. And he did this during his during a two-term amount of time. He took office in 2002, and during that time, he's been dealing in all different types of stuff that is illegal, and basically makes himself look really, 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 really bad, and gives politics once again another stab. I mean, these negative things does not help our political system here in the United States. I mean, we've got corruption all over the world, but also that corruption does not stop on the border. We are dealing with it here pretty much on a day-to-day basis. And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and run to the next thing that we've got going on here, which we'll be dealing with. I don't have the actual the reports pulled up here, but it's dealing with the Scotland secession from the UK. Scotland is trying to succeed from the UK. They've been a part of the United Kingdom for the last 3,000 years, and they want to succeed. They want to be their own entity, their own independent state. But a lot of fears is that will they be able to hold their own economically, financially, in every area and they don't know yet, but they really feel that they'll be able to do it, and they want to succeed. So not cool, dude. Not. I apologize for that, good people. What a way to do a premiere show. I am babysitting my grandmother's dog, and somebody knocked the door, and he goes bananas. But anyway, we're going to get back to what we were talking about. Scotland is trying to succeed from the UK. Their vote to actually have a referendum to succeed will be on Thursday, this Thursday coming up, September the 18th, 2014. But the poll shows over there that it could go 50-50. We really don't know. It's going to be pretty exciting to see how this thing plays out and what's going to happen here in the end. Okay, the last thing that we are going to cover here is something that a lot aren't really happy about, and it is dealing with ISIS, or the Islamic State, or ISIL. They call themselves many different things, but basically now they're trying to stick with a caliphate. Now, it's a pretty bad situation that we've got going on right now. ISIS is over there in Iraq and Syria. They have taken over much of the northern region of Syria, and they're taking on also a big chunk of the northern part of Iraq right now. There was a NATO summit, and we have concluded that there will be General John Riley will, if I'm not mistaken here, Mr. John Riley. Let's make sure, because I don't. Yep. No, I apologize. Mr. John R. Allen. I apologize for that. Mr. John R. Allen will be leading the coalition, and right now, out of 40 nations, we've only got 10 right now that is backing us up, like Australia, Turkey, and Britain. But there is a big thing to see, because we're trying to help the Kurds, and the Iraqis to actually fight, because they're on the ground. They're actually on the ground fighting right now, and U.S. has already. We have actually achieved about 150 airstrikes, humanitarian air, and actual bombings, and so far we've been pretty successful with our targets. But the main thing is, because you can't. The debate is you cannot defeat ICE bomb strikes. There has to be boots on the ground. Obama has already sent. We've just sent an additional 400. Right now, there's a total of 1,600 advisors on the ground right now. Of course, you know these advisors, they have to be protected. They have to protect themselves. I'm pretty sure they are armed. So if the debate is, if somebody actually shoots or kills or harms or injures any of the advisors, we will pick up arms and we will go straight at them, boots on the ground, boots running. So, but right now the thing is, Obama, he's going to use executive orders through the War Powers Act, and we're going to actually start bombing in Syria. The President of Syria, President Assad, has said that you can do surveillance, and we've already done some surveillance. What's what, and who's what, and where's where. He's going to use executive orders to actually start bombing on that soil. He has said if there's any type of action on this soil, it will be a sign of aggression. But he has changed his mind and said, now I will allow you to do bombs, because over there in Syria we have there is the Free Army of Syria, and the debate in the past, in the last 2 years, that ISIS has risen, and the last 2 years that there has been a civil war in Syria. We didn't know who the Free Syrian Army was. We didn't know if they were the bad guys or the good guys, because some of the ISIS people did derive. The reports say that some of the ISIS militants did derive from the Free Syrian Army. So we will see how that goes. Obama is going to be doing executive orders through the War Powers Act to actually start bombing in Syria. And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and run to a quick video right now to actually show the president actually saying that right now. I apologize. When we had when everything closed up on us, everything kind of shut down. We had to do everything over. But here.
My fellow Americans, tonight I want to speak to you about what the United States and allies to degrade and ultimately destroy the terrorist group known as ISIL. As Commander-in-Chief, my highest priority is the security of the American people. Over the last several years, we have consistently taken the fight to terrorists who threaten our country. We took out Osama bin Laden, al-Qaeda's leadership in Afghanistan and Pakistan. We targeted al-Qaeda's affiliate in Yemen and recently eliminated the top commander of its affiliate in Somalia. We've done so while bringing more than 140,000 American troops home from Iraq and drawing down our forces in Afghanistan, where our combat may end later this year. Thanks to our military and counterterrorism professionals, America is safer. Still, we continue to face a terrorist threat. We can't erase every trace of evil from the world, and small groups of killers have the capacity to do great harm. That was the case before 9/11, and that remains true today. And that's why we must remain vigilant as threats emerge. At this moment, the greatest threats come from the Middle East and North Africa, where radical groups exploit grievances for their own gain. And one of those groups is ISIL, which calls itself the Islamic State. Now let's make two things clear. ISIL is not Islamic. No religion condones the killing of innocents, and the vast majority of ISIL's victims have been Muslim. And ISIL is certainly not a state. It threatened a religious minority, including Europeans and the region, including to the United States. While we have not yet detected specific plotting against our homeland, it threatened America and our allies. Our intelligence community believes that thousands of foreigners, including Europeans and some Americans, have joined them in Syria and Iraq. Trained and battle-hardened, these fighters could try to return to their home countries and carry out deadly attacks. I know many Americans are concerned about these threats. Tonight, I want you to know that the United States of America is meeting them with strength and resolve. Last month, I ordered our military to take targeted action against ISIL to stop its advances. Since then, we've conducted more than 150 successful airstrikes in Iraq. These strikes have protected American personnel and facilities, killed ISIL fighters, destroyed weapons, and given space for Iraqi and Kurdish forces to reclaim key territory. These strikes have also helped save the lives of thousands of innocent men, women, and children. But this is not our fight alone. American power can make a decisive difference, but we cannot do for Iraqis what they must do for themselves. Nor can we take the place of Arab partners in securing their region. And that's why I've insisted that additional U.S. action depended upon Iraqis forming an inclusive government, which they have now done in recent days. So tonight, with a new Iraqi government in place, and following consultations with allies abroad and Congress at home, I can announce that America will lead a broad coalition to roll back this threat. Our objective is clear. We will degrade and ultimately destroy ISIL through a comprehensive and sustained counterterrorism strategy. First, we will conduct a systematic campaign of airstrikes against these terrorists. Working with the Iraqi government, we will expand our efforts beyond protecting our own people and humanitarian missions, so that we're hitting ISIL targets as Iraqi forces go on offense. Moreover, I've made it clear that we will hunt down terrorists who threaten our country wherever they are. That means I will not hesitate to take action against ISIL as well as Iraq. This is a core principle of my presidency. If you threaten America, you will find no safe haven.
So yeah, that's where we're at dealing with that. I don't want to play the whole video because, of course, you can go to YouTube and find it for yourself. And I don't want to, play a whole video for the whole entire show. And I know if you're catching the show now, you're only seeing only bits and pieces from where we started from the actual the sports zone. We went ahead and derived to the other things doing politics. But as far as the nation, that's where we're at today. As far as dealing with us personally and our president, the Commander-in-Chief, Barack Obama. I know plenty of people have their own opinion about him and the polls that are only taken from a percentage of Americans, not 100, But accumulating so many polls does show a bit of people's personal opinion in America, and a lot of times that's where our politics starts to derive from and makes action from. And hopefully those actions aren't just because of the polls, but they do have a part to play. But they're also dependent upon certain events that have taken place. ISIS beheads people on a day-to-day basis. They behead sometimes hundreds of people a day. There was a time 2 weeks ago where they actually beheaded, killed 70 people in one day. There's another time there was 20. So their reign of destruction reigns. You know what I mean? It keeps moving, and they don't stop. They don't degrade. They're not hesitant, and they're not bashful. When they put up their videos, and I've seen plenty of their videos, and I have the link saved right now, they don't fade to black. What I want to do, and hopefully I don't get in trouble from YouTube, hopefully I don't get cut right now, but I want to show a bit of one of the videos, because it shows some bits, pieces of the videos all over the internet, even on YouTube, but they don't show the whole entire thing. What I'm going to do, I'm going to and there was 3 people have been beheaded so far on a scale to where everybody knows, not a global scale, but on a scale that the media has covered. So many. There's been James Foley, there's been Steven Sotloff, and now they're David Haines. I've seen all 3 of them. I have all 3 of them saved. What I want to do right now, I want to show you a little bit of the David Haines beheading.
Stick to the very clear foreign policy and the very clear strategy that we have, which is to work with the new Iraqi government to help make sure the Kurds get the arms they need to fight off these brutal, to work with our allies, and as I've said, to use everything that we have, our aid, our diplomacy, and our military prowess, to make sure that with allies we do everything we can to put the pressure on Islamic State, this appalling organization.
My name is David Cawthorne Haines. I would like to declare that I hold you, David Cameron, entirely responsible for my execution. You entered voluntarily into the United States against the Islamic State, just as your predecessor, Tony Blair, did, following a trend amongst our British Prime Ministers who can't find the courage to say no to the Americans. Unfortunately, it is we, the British public, that in the end will pay the price for our Parliament's selfish decisions.
This British man has to pay the price for your promise, Cameron, to arm the Peshmerga against the Islamic State. Ironically, he has spent a decade of his life serving the same Royal Air Force that is responsible for delivering those arms. Your evil alliance with America, which continues to strike the Muslims of Iraq and most recently bombed the Haditha Dam, will only accelerate your destruction. And the role of the obedient lapdog Cameron will only drag you and your people into another bloody and unwinnable war.
And that is as far as we're gonna go with that, because I don't know how much of it I could actually show and not be shut down or not be suspended. I'd rather show the whole thing, but I don't want to go too far and I don't want to overstep my bounds. But that is Mr. David Haines. Matter of fact, no, I won't do that. But that is Mr. David Haines. And that is the 3rd person. The first 2 were journalists. This guy right here was a British aid worker. He wasn't a journalist. He wasn't somebody that wanted to go film the news and see everything firsthand and knew this is what could happen. I could be kidnapped. I could be murdered. I could be shot. I could be beheaded. And sign a disclaimer and say, okay, these are the chances that I take. He's not one of those. He's an actual aid worker. He wanted to go help people. You know, just helping people live. You know what I mean? He was kidnapped, and supposedly he was beheaded. That's the third person that was put on a global scale, so that is addressed to America and David Blair over there, David Cameron over there in the UK. They have a fourth person. I want to show, but I don't want to keep them pause and stop, and you see the actual body in the head on Mr. David Haynes. But I do hope, some people think it's a fake. All three has been a fake. I hope they are, and I hope these people are alive and well. Well, I hope they're alive. You're in the hands of some really cruel people, so, you know, well is probably the least word to say. But the fourth person that they have, he's another British aid worker. His name is Mr. Alan Henning. And he's supposedly going to be the fourth person that will be beheaded if we don't stop and if Mr. Cameron doesn't stop. I don't think they'll stop, period. I apologize for my personal opinion. I said this is not about my personal opinions, but this is actually about, you know, what's in the news, current event, national events, global events, and give the facts and leave it at that. You know what I mean? Try to be as third person and as non-biased as humanly possible. But I give it to you guys to make your own opinion. I give it to you guys to make your own statements, ask questions, comment, what have you. And that's about where we're at as far as dealing with that, as far as politics and as far as world global events. I mean, that's really in a more of a violent category and criminal, because that's criminal type stuff. But that's where we're at dealing with that. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the show. And the possibility you only may see half of it, because the first half we were going good, we were going well, and we had a little bit of technical difficulties and everything crashed. But I hope the whole thing will be put up. But it's a strong possibility only the second half may only be put up. If it is, what I may do tomorrow, I may go over the first half, so the first half can be uploaded. People can see where we started at and how we begin. And now you can see how we, but that's it. That's all we have here for the Social Mind Show. I thank you for the privilege of your time. I really appreciate it. For anybody who will view, anybody who will comment, I thank you. And we will be doing this here again the weekend after next. That will be the following Sunday. That will be Sunday the 28th of September. More, I'm pretty sure then we'll be a little bit more professional. We have more things here in order. But first time, first go. And I'm pretty happy and I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty happy how things went. And it went a little bit smoother than I thought. But anyway, once again, I thank you for the privilege of your time. And we will see you guys next time on the next show. You know what to say. Deuce Line, say it 2 times. Peace.